Welcome to WION World of Cricket. I am Esha Hanspal. With me in the studios, as always, is 1996 World Cup winning coach Dav Whatmore, to whom we're going to come in just a bit. But first up, let's talk about the clash which is lined up at the Wankhede today. Just about to begin in a short while from now. It is Australia versus Afghanistan at the Wankhede in Mumbai. What makes this fixture really interesting is that both the teams are fighting for a spot in the semi-finals. The World Cup is still wide open. Anyone, at least so far only India and South Africa have secured this spot in the semis. All the other 8 teams still unsure about the top 4 spots, and they are still fighting it out. That's what makes it really interesting today. We will now go across to Dav Whatmore and see what he has to say about this particular fixture. Dav, the latest we've heard from the stadium is that Marnus Labuschagne and Steve Smith will not be included in the playing 11 for today. Does that deal a blow to Australia?
Yeah, I would think so. That surprised me a lot. We know that Steve Smith was suffering from vertigo. Looks like he's still got that complaint. But I'm not sure about Labuschagne. We'll have to wait and see what these reasons are. But yeah, this fixture today, as you said earlier, is very important. But to me, okay, technically, you know, both teams can secure their place in the 4, but to me it's pretty much there for Australia to lose. But again, I'm really keen to see how Afghanistan go against Australia. They've been itching to play their opponent because they've threatened to play against them over the last couple of years with, you know, through COVID and since, and they would really like to test themselves. And I too am looking to see that test, to see how far they can push Australia, if indeed they can push them all the way and win the game. So today is, for me, technically, yes, there's something else hanging on the game, but for me, I'm really interested to see how far Afghanistan have come when they play against Australia.
With Marnus Labuschagne not being there today, who do you expect to come in? Cam Green?
Yeah, Cameron Green was there last game. He might hold his spot. And Marcus Stoinis also will more than likely keep his spot.
Let's go through your playing 11, Dav, on that note.
Well, it'll be wrong though. Okay, I'll see if I can put in my my replacement. Warner and Head, obviously, for those two. Very good openers together. Then Mitch Marsh, I had him coming back from his sad problem that he had. At number 3, I had Steve Smith at 4. Now, if he's not playing and Labuschagne's not playing, then maybe even a Green could bat there, or Josh English goes up. So between Green, Inglis and Maxwell will be 4, 5 and 6. 4, 5 and 6. So Marcus Stoinis at 7, Mitchell Starc, Pat Cummins at 8, Mitchell Starc 9, Zampa and Hazelwood. So, you know, the 2 players who missed out, they come back in, but who is going out for them? Labuschagne and Smith. Smith, I understand, but I'm not...
We're still waiting on the graphics so that we have better clarity of the names that you just took.
Yeah.
So, as you were saying, with Labuschagne going out, you have... Steve Smith is also out.
Yes.
So who are the probable replacements?
Well, the 2 coming in are the 2 who missed out, like Maxwell and Mitchell Marsh. So they come in, but the order now becomes... The batting order becomes subjective to see where they all fit in. But we still not got confirmation. Looks like Australia won the toss.
Yep. And elected to bat first.
And will bat first. So
Afghanistan won the toss and elected to bat first.
Okay, right. Very good. That's a good decision by them, you know, to have a hit in natural light. So I'm looking forward to see how that goes. But yeah, it's the order that now, you know, will be interesting to see how they fit it all in. But we still don't know on Labuschagne. You know, we'll get confirmation very soon.
In just a bit. Okay. Can we just go through your playing 11 for Team Afghanistan?
Afghanistan, yes. Well, I had basically one change, Noor Ahmed going out and Naveen-ul-Haq coming in. But the talk at the moment is that they may play 4. They'll keep the same team and play 4 spinners, which means Naveen-ul-Haq may have to miss out again. And that's the only change. So Gurbaz, Zadran, Rahmat Shah, Shahidi, Ikram, the wicket keeper, Omazi, the all-rounder, Nabi, Khan, Mujib, Noor Ahmed, the young left arm wrist spinner, and Faruqi. So again, 1, 2, 3 spinners, 3 quicks. In Australia's case,
that's what you'd gone for.
Yeah, and 2, 3, 4 fast bowlers and 2 spinners. In Australia's case, slightly different.
Okay, in Mumbai pitch, you would say Afghanistan perhaps does not need the 4th spinner, but in the similar vein of thought, we saw Afghanistan tackle Australia in the T20 World Cup, although that's where the pacers came into play. So what do you think is a good strategy overall going against any team for Afghanistan, considering their spin quartet, the really strong, famed spin quartet that they have?
Ideally, you'd like a balance between both, you know, and Australia have that, I think. But Afghanistan have gone heavily into spin if they play the 4 spinners. So, you know, and their other fast bowler is like an all-rounder. So they're taking a little risk, but they would feel that our best chance to win, to bowl Australia out, is to bowl spin at them, because they're not used to spin. They're brought up on a diet of pace bowling, which is also correct. But time will tell which, you know, whether their strategy is correct or not.
A word on opting to bat first. Would you say it's a good call on trying to post as big a total as they can when they know that they're going up against the likes of David Warner, Travis Head? You've seen what Travis Head did in his first game in the World Cup. Would you still say it was a good call? I
think so, yeah. But the only thing is they have to be mindful that if there is dew in the outfield in the evening, that won't be all that good for spinning the ball. But we don't know, that's an unknown. But what they do know is the conditions are good for batting today. So I think they've done the right thing, but they have to ensure that they set a good total. Take a little bit of time, have a look. This Australian attack is not an easy one to face, but their top order is very good, Afghanistan. They have to continue to believe. If they continue to believe in their own abilities, it's going to be a good game.
Dab, we are waiting on the final playing 11 that both the teams are going for, but let's first take a look at the key battles that you picked out for us for today.
Okay, I had Warner and Head, obviously, the very good opening batsman. David Warner will be battling it out against Mujib-ur-Rahman. More so now that if there's only 2 fast bowlers, 4 spinners, so he has to bowl, and he has bowled in the power play, and he's got a couple of really good deliveries. One is that slides away away from the left-hander's bat, and they're both left-handers, Head as well as Davey Warner. So that's a very good battle, I believe, that I'd look forward to seeing. The other one is Travis Head. So he's the other opener, both in a good vein of form. Faruqi will definitely take the other new ball if he plays. So he also would be looking for a little bit of a bouncy effort to try and get it past Travis Head's bat. So it will require, some decent direction, and his length has to be good too. If he can move it away, great. But you got to find out quick: is it swinging today or is it not swinging today? If it's not swinging today, you got to pull it back and bowl straight.
And you still play him.
Yes. Okay. Maxwell is my third battle. Boy, oh boy, he was missed last game, but they still won against England, a good England team. So he's welcome back into the team. Being a middle order player, for sure, he's going to face some spin. And Rashid Khan is their trump card, although his wickets tally isn't that good, his economy's good.
Yep.
He has to keep him quiet. If he keeps him quiet, Maxwell can do a couple of silly things and get out. But that's going to be a good battle too.
Okay.
2 from Afghanistan, Rahmanullah Gurbaz, who is another very popular batsman with the whole, people who follow cricket. He is a good player. He's been out of touch lately.
Yeah.
He's been missing on the runs, a little unlucky on one occasion, bad shot on the other. Again, his record chasing is not that good. He did a good job in Chennai, but he has to continue it today because he'll be asked to bat No, he's batting first today. Sorry, I'm getting confused again. So he'll be happy with that.
Yeah.
He'll be happy to bat in natural light and batting first to set a total, and he generally does well. So I'm looking forward to this battle with Hazelwood, who is also miserly, man. He can generally bowl it on a very tight length and direction. So that'll be a good battle as well. The last one is Ramat Shah, who is my favourite of those Afghanistan batsmen. To me, very technically correct.
Yeah.
You know, bats at number 3, generally comes in a little, later in the power play, through that middle overs. The leading wicket, no, he's not the leading wicket taker anymore. Madhushankar took it off him yesterday.
Yeah.
But this guy is one of the leaders, and he's been pivotal. One of the main reasons why Australia's won 5 in a row.
Yeah.
A good leg spinner who will test any player, and particularly Ramat Shah.
Would you say that Zampa has very swiftly and quickly in the World Cup become one of Australia's most important players currently?
From the bowling attack, yes. You can't just have one side, doing the business and the other side not. You need both areas to fire up. And definitely he's been the one that's been able to put the brakes on during those middle overs by taking wickets. So if he's doing that, and every new batsman coming in takes a little bit of time to settle in, gives an opportunity for the person up the other end as well to try and make a breakthrough. So he's been wonderful. Now, I was critical, as you know, the first couple of games.
Yeah. He really
warranted.
turned it around.
Yeah, but he's turned it around beautifully.
Okay, we have a word on the playing 11 now, Dav. Let's quickly take a look at that. First up with Australia, and then I'd like to keep a bit of mystery with Afghanistan because we would like to see how many spinners they're eventually playing.
Yep.
With Australia, they're playing Travis Head, David Warner up top, Mitchell Marsh.
Yep.
Marnus Labuschagne apparently is playing.
Right.
Yes, he is playing. Then Josh Inglis, Glenn Maxwell, Marcus Stoinis, Pat Cummins, Mitchell Starc, Adam Zampa, and Josh Hazlewood.
All right, so Smith out. All right, Labuschagne keeps his place. Cameron Green out.
Yeah.
In comes Mitchell Marsh. In comes Glenn Maxwell.
Yeah.
So the two going out is Cameron Green and Steve Smith.
Yeah. Are you happy with this?
Yes, I'm much happier now that Labuschagne is playing.
Yeah.
They need that little bit of a steadying influence at the top, and he's in form.
Yeah,
and he's a good fielder too.
Yeah.
So that's a plus. It's a win-win.
Okay. Team Afghanistan now.
Okay.
Starting with Gurbaz. Ibrahim Zadran, Hashmatullah Shahidi, the skipper, Rahmat Shah, Azmatullah Omarzai, Ali Khil, Mohammad Nabi, Rashid Khan, Mujibur Rahman, Noor Ahmed, 4 spinners there.
You go.
And Naveen ul Haq.
Yeah.
Fazil Farooqi
Naveen ul Haq.
is not playing.
Oh, Farooqi not playing.
No,
Okay, right. All right, so we got Noor Ahmed. Okay. So 4 spinners, there you are. So what we've been hearing turns out to be correct. So they're absolutely banking on their ability to spin a web with some of these very strong Australian batsmen. And let's see how it goes. They have to do it in the under lights. Let's hopefully there won't be too much dew. It'll make it a good game.
Would you say that they have relied on the strength more than they have assessed the pitch? Mumbai, as we know, is not exactly a spinner's paradise like we've seen on other grounds like Chennai. So would you say that they've still taken that risk, or is it a risk at all? No,
it's a small risk. You have to say that because they've loaded it on one side, so you've gone a little bit to the extreme. But they feel that they have more skill in that area. So Australia, okay, they're used to pace and bounce, ball coming on, okay, maybe a few variations, but they're used to that. They're not pretty used to playing good spinners. So the wicket may not spin that much, but that's how they feel. They feel very strongly that that's their best combination, and good luck to them. It's a state of mind. If they're feeling strongly about it, they have to back it. They have to protect that.
Dav, I'm wondering about your key battles now, considering they now have 4 spinners. You wanted
and Farooqi.
No Farooqi. You wanted to pit Naveen ul Haq against Travis Head.
Yep.
You wanted to put Mujibur Rahman against David Warner.
Yep.
If you could just remind me of your third key battle.
Yep, that was Glenn Maxwell against Rashid Khan.
Okay, you anyway pitted your major battles against the spinners.
Yeah, it's only Head now. Is Faruqi is not playing.
Yeah.
So the new ball will be
replace
taken by Naveen ul Haq, who is also pretty good, but he's retiring after this World Cup. He won't be playing this format again.
Yeah.
Young guy, still, I think, should be continuing to play, but it's his decision. So he's hoping that this will be, something to remember. Anyway, I think what Afghanistan has done in this series has been a wonderful thing. They'll be going home as as heroes.
Feeling like champions in their own right.
Heroes, yeah.
Okay, so you would still you would put now Naveen ul Haq against Travis Head.
Yes. Yeah.
Would that battle change a little bit?
Well, he's the opening batter, so he's going to face Mujib as well.
Yeah.
But he can't play. I don't think they'll bowl two spinners with the new balls.
Yeah.
I think one of these guys will bowl to him, and that'll be Naveen ul Haq.
Okay. Let's now take a look at some of the comments you've been getting, Dav, and I'm pretty sure after that announcement, we will be getting a few views.
From yesterday too, I would think.
Yes, our social media has been buzzing after yesterday's fixture. Okay, this one is from Achal Saluja, who asks a very pertinent question, something you've been talking about, Dav. How big a role does the toss play?
Well, now, what did I say? This is the 39th game? 39th match. So in 38 games prior to this one, we've had 13 times you win the toss, win the game. Right? 13 times. So 25 times you win the toss and lose the game.
Lose the game, yeah.
I'm not saying this will happen, but the last two matches we've seen, win the toss, win the game. But the statistics so far, it's double, 2-1. You win the toss, you lose the game.
Yeah. More so moving towards teams that have opted to field first.
Well,
Those
out
are
of
the
that,
teams,
we can tease that out further and give you more figures on, of those 25, who's won the toss and fielded second, batting second rather, and lost the game. Not at my fingertips, but it's not as bad as it used to be. It's sort of evening up a little bit.
Okay.
But yes, it's good to win the toss. At least you have you have a choice of what you want to do. You could be wrong, but you have a choice first.
Okay. All right. This one is from Esha, who comments, will Mumbai pitch help the Australian seamers more, or will Afghanistan spin dominate?
I think the first 10 overs a game has been, the time where it defines whether you're going to win it or not. Last night we saw Bangladesh survive that new ball. They did lose 2, but they got a decent amount of runs. So once you lose too many wickets in that first 10, it becomes really hard. So, yeah, I think, bowling second, you've got to be a little careful batting. Now, Afghanistan have to chase runs. They're batting first again, sorry. But batting second, you've got to be a little careful with the new balls.
Okay. All right. This is from Tanishq, who says, wishing Stephen Smith a speedy recovery, of course.
Vertigo.
Yeah. Kevin asks, will Australia miss Stephen Smith against Afghanistan?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, okay, they got Marnus Labuschagne similar, like for like.
Yeah.
This guy's very experienced, whatever it is. He's got so many more matches played than a lot of the Afghanistanis. And it makes a difference. I know he looked visibly upset when he wasn't passed in his fitness test. I think so. I think he'll be dismissed because he's such a been a wonderful contributor for years. But
Didn't really start off the World Cup all too well.
No, he didn't. No,
Yeah.
he's got a couple of 50s and he's threatened. I'm sure he would have liked to have batted on this surface in Mumbai against this opposition, test himself against spin. Not to be, but I think they'll miss him. Yeah.
Okay. Trisha says, should Australia experiment at this stage of the tournament?
Not really, but who
Yeah, I don't think they're experimenting.
No.
They've kind of dealt a blow with Stephen Smith out, and the other two players missing, Marsh and Maxwell, are back. So.
And they would have been in that 11 anyway.
Yeah.
So I don't think that they're experimenting with these changes. They're more forced change.
Yeah,
I would say.
absolutely. Okay.
Abbott's the only one that hasn't played, right? Sean Abbott. But he's been on the field a lot. When anyone that comes off, he's the preferred 12th man to field, the fielding 12th man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, this one is from Krishna, who asks, can Rashid get the better of Australian batters like Warner and Het?
Look, he's, he hasn't figured too much in the wickets column, that's for sure. But you cannot take him lightly. If you start to manufacture some shots, and yes, you might get away with it. But if you, get out, open up one end, and the incoming player needs to settle down, could find it difficult, you just need to be careful. That's all I say. You've got to pick your battles very carefully. Calculated risks against some of these players. You might get the odd one to hit. Great, go for it. Hit it for 12. But be careful when you're improvising.
Okay. This is from Navya, who asks, do Afghanistan have the best team working unit?
Team working.
Yeah, team working unit.
Teamwork, I would think she meant.
Yeah.
It looks like, when you see images of them in the huddle, even during the fielding fielding efforts, drinks, even in the fall of a wicket, everyone comes together, they refocus, realign, maybe another one or two of, their what they want to achieve is reminded to each other. It looks like they're pretty close. Certainly the results are showing that way, and I would think they're up there with team spirit, yeah.
A word on the new coaches, perhaps. Do you think they've managed to consolidate the team and make them look quite in contention for the top 4 spot now?
Part of the management, of course, is the support staff. Is the coach. It's the managing of individuals as well as the team. How hard do you go at training? When do you train? When do you give people time off? All these sort of things are very important when you manage correctly. And it seems as though they are up for each game, and they look as though they're up for this game today as well, which will make it a good fixture. Time will tell, of course, because it's really, Australia ranked right up there. Afghanistan came in their own right, but there's a distance between the two in the rankings. But I tell you what, Afghanistan's going to close it, the distance.
Okay. This is something I was going to ask you anyway, Tav, but then Jatin also asks.
Yeah.
He says, can Afghanistan upset Australia with their teamwork today?
Can they upset? Yeah.
They can.
They've upset some good teams before. So, they're riding high.
So what is the possibility of doing that? Say if I was to give it 10 points, how...
Out of 10?
Yes, like I asked you the win probability yesterday.
Yeah,
so
I know.
What is your win
Well,
probability?
I'm definitely going for an Australian win, because they're also riding on some very good confidence. They've won the last 5. They've had there they go. They've had a change in their lineup last game against a very good England team, but they managed to win. And now again they're asked to they have a challenge with Smith being injured. So I'm expecting them to win. So naturally, it has to be more than 50%.
Yeah.
I think they'll win if they do all the processes correctly and you respect that opposition. I think it could be a bit of distance between the two teams at the end of the day.
Right. Dad, since you mentioned Smith, we know the kind of a World Cup he's had so far. Would you say that it's still a challenge with him being missed? You have the inclusion of a Travis Head now. Glenn Maxwell has come into form and doing pretty well. Realistically speaking, how dependent on Stephen Smith are Australia?
Well, obviously, without the weight of runs, you can't say, "Oh, we're going to miss him," because he's given us 200s and now he's not here. He hasn't done that. Where he'll be missed, I think, is on the field and his brain.
Experience.
Experience, yeah. But Labuschagne is also, it could be a blessing in disguise. You never know. That guy could come in and get you some good runs, you know, because he fields very well also. You never know, you know, but I just think with his experience, he'll be missed, yeah.
Okay, just to reiterate how big the stakes are, if we can just take a look at the points table again. Australia are on the 3rd spot, followed by New Zealand. We spoke about how precariously placed New Zealand are. Would you say the same about Australia? You were pretty confident that Australia is going to seal that 3rd spot, and only the 4th spot is the one that's going to be in contention. Do you still maintain that? I should have perhaps asked you during the mid-innings after I saw at least one innings being played out. But would you say that the 3rd and the 4th spot equally in contention and a little tricky to be lost?
I feel that 4 will remain. And I don't think it'll change now. Before, Australia was 4, New Zealand 3.
So between last evening to now, you feel that even the 4th spot is not going to change?
I don't think so. I've said it a few days. I could be wrong. New Zealand, you know, as I said, they've lost 4 in a row, but only the one game has been terrible. The others have been really, really
Close
competitive.
yeah.
And the last one, they get 400 runs.
Yeah.
And didn't get 2 points. I think they'll go there with and give it a typical New Zealand effort, and that might be good enough, will be good enough for their opposition.
If Afghanistan win today, they come on the 4th spot.
If Afghanistan win today,
yes, they come on the 4th spot.
0.036 if they, sorry, 0.330, right?
Yeah, and they go on 10 points if they win today, and they come on.
Well,
the
they do.
spot.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, temporarily. That's
okay.
right.
All
It'll
right.
look good for them, won't it? When you look at that the leaderboard and you think, gee,
Okay, let's take a look at a few polls that we conducted, and after that we will be getting back to the match. So we asked, which has been the biggest upset so far? Netherlands beating South Africa, Afghanistan beating England, Afghanistan beating Pakistan, Sri Lanka beating England.
I think, for me, it's clear. Netherlands.
Yeah, okay. Netherlands beating South Africa gets the maximum votes with 47%, followed by Afghanistan beating Pakistan, Sri Lanka beating England, and Afghanistan beating England. So our viewers think Afghanistan beating Pakistan is a bigger deal than Afghanistan beating the current champions, the defending champions, England.
Okay. Well, they're both good victories, aren't they? But you know, when you look at Afghanistan, it doesn't surprise me. For me, it's not surprising. You know, it may be for a lot of fans who are, you know.
Or would you say when you look at England currently, it's not surprising?
Well, it is surprising. They're playing really badly, you know. And I'm expecting them to, you know, to have a strong response in the last 2 games, very strong response to ensure that they at least get another 4 points and qualify.
Okay. Who will be Australia's top performer? David Warner, Travis Head, Adam Zampa, Mitchell Starc.
I think one of the openers will also do the business. I'm going to go for Travis Head.
Okay. Our viewers think it's going to be Adam Zampa.
Zampa.
A few numbers here that we can take a look at. Marnus Labuschagne, as you mentioned, could be a blessing in disguise. Mitchell Marsh, Stephen Smith on 205 runs, and Glenn Maxwell, 196. Warner, 428. Just in case I missed out on that one. Travis Head has just played a couple of games, and we saw how he did.
Well, he got a big 100 and then missed out.
He might very soon feature in this list.
So he's due again.
Yep. Okay. All right. So our viewers think who will be Australia's top performer? According to our viewers, it's Adam Zampa, 48% votes, followed by David Warner, then Travis Head, and Mitchell Starc gets no votes.
Yeah.
No votes.
Well, he's got to up the ante a little bit. He's taken the new ball here, but there we are. Zampa, 19 wickets. Brilliant effort with an economy of 5.5 for a leg spinner, and started badly.
Yeah.
Started badly. He got knocked around. You know, he was going at 60 runs for his 10 overs and more. So he's brought that down really, really nicely. Yeah.
Okay. Will Australia win the World Cup?
Look, I think the way they're going, they could certainly play off in the final. The way they're going now, but I don't think they'll win it. No.
Okay, 83% of our viewers say no, and the remaining 17% say yes. Will Afghanistan reach the semi-finals?
No, I mean, for those reasons I've been talking about. Sadly, but whatever happens, they've done extremely well. They can hold their heads up high.
Okay. By a very small margin, our viewers think no. Only 51% think no and 49% think
yes. Wow.
They can get into the semi-finals. Isn't this victory in itself, Dav? They have such resounding support and faith that people have that they are a good enough team to actually make it to the semis.
Yeah, it puts a smile on my face. You know, that's really, and in many ways, I hope they do.
Yeah.
You know, that really will, enhance what I'm saying about this team. But, against all the odds, they've done this so far. This is another very big test for them,
If we were to not look at the future fixtures lined up, say Afghanistan do get a spot in the top 4, which team would you have sitting out of the top 4?
Yeah, New Zealand.
New Zealand. Okay.
If they had to. If they had to come in to the 4, I think New Zealand.
So India, South Africa, Australia and Afghanistan.
Yep.
Okay. Who is going to be Afghanistan's best player? Gurbaz, Rashid Khan, Mujibur Rahman, Hashmatullah Shahidi.
I'm going for Gurbaz, batting first.
Yes, he gets the most number of votes as well, 48%, followed by Rashid Khan. Rashid Khan has a lot of fans around in the region.
He's a good player, very good player.
Mujibur Rahman and Hashmatullah Shahidi on 7% of votes. Okay, the game has started.
There's a problem with the side screen. Somebody moving. Stop moving. Be still.
Isn't that Gurbaz? I think
there we go. It's Gurbaz.
Yeah.
Rahmanullah.
Okay, who will win the match in Mumbai? Afghanistan, Australia, and this is the last one. I think I've already asked you this.
I'm going for the yellow team.
But our viewers think, Dad, that Afghanistan has this one.
Great.
Yes, 58% think it's going to be Afghanistan.
Great.
And 42% think it's going to be Australia.
Right, very good.
All right, on that positive note, depending on which team you are supporting, we will wrap up this edition of WION World of Cricket because we have to go back and watch that match, and so should you, and join us again in the mid-innings. Bye-bye.